Our story begins not with a birth, but with a silence. A silence so profound it echoed across the empty seas and barren lands. A world paused in the aftermath of catastrophe. Imagine Earth, 252 million years ago, recovering from the Great Dying, the Permian-Triassic extinction. This was the most devastating event in our planet's history, wiping out nearly all life and leaving the world eerily still. The seas, once vibrant, had fallen quiet. Nearly all marine species vanished, leaving a vast empty expanse. The ocean floor was a graveyard, scattered with the remnants of lost worlds. The world was a blank slate, waiting for new life. The silence was not just absence, but potential, an open canvas for evolution's next masterpiece. In this aftermath, a few survivors clung on, and evolution began to experiment again. Life, ever resilient, found footholds in the cracks and crevices of this new world. On land, new reptiles appeared, ancestors of the dinosaurs. These creatures were small, nimble, and adaptable, ready to seize any opportunity. But the oceans, rich in opportunity, beckoned. The vast, empty waters promised food, space, and a chance to thrive away from competition. Some land-dwelling reptiles couldn't resist the call of the sea. They ventured to the water's edge, drawn by the promise of new beginnings. This was the start of a remarkable journey back to water. Step by tentative step, they explored the shallows, adapting to a world both familiar and strange. Early reptiles, seeking food or refuge, began spending more time in the water. Their bodies slowly transformed, generation by generation, as they learned to swim and hunt beneath the waves. Their bodies changed, limbs became paddles, tails became engines for swimming. Lungs and senses adapted to the aquatic world, unlocking new possibilities. These pioneers were the first wave of reptiles to reclaim the oceans. They were explorers, innovators, and survivors, forging a new path in the ancient seas. They set the stage for a new dynasty of marine rulers. The oceans, once empty, began to fill with life and movement once more. Among them, a group was starting down a unique evolutionary path. Their bodies would become icons of the prehistoric seas. The age of the Plesiosaurs was about to begin, a new chapter in the story of life on Earth written in the waves. The ancestors of Plesiosaurs began their journey on land, walking beneath the intense Triassic sun. These early reptiles roamed a world that was both harsh and full of opportunity, where survival meant constant adaptation. The lure of the ocean was irresistible. Shallow coastal waters teemed with life, offering a rich bounty of fish and other prey. For these pioneering reptiles, the sea promised new sources of food and fewer terrestrial predators. Early sauropterygians began to adapt, becoming semi-aquatic, much like how modern crocodiles split their time between land and water. This transition was gradual, requiring new skills and physical changes. Their bodies became more streamlined, and their limbs slowly evolved to be better suited for paddling through water rather than walking on land. Over millions of years, these changes intensified. Each generation brought subtle improvements, as natural selection favored those best equipped for aquatic life. Nothosaurs, with their long necks and webbed feet, became skilled swimmers. Yet they still returned to land to rest or lay eggs, bridging two worlds as they hunted in the shallows. From these Nothosaurs, the first true Plesiosaurs emerged, reptiles that fully committed to life at sea, leaving the land behind forever. Their legs transformed into powerful wing-like flippers, perfectly adapted for flying through water with grace and speed. The vast ocean became their permanent home, a place where they could thrive and evolve into new forms. The earliest Plesiosaurs appeared late in the Triassic, around 203 million years ago, marking a new chapter in marine evolution. They weren't yet giants, but their unique body plan was already set. 4 strong flippers, a stiff torso for stability, and the beginnings of the long necks that would later define them. These early Plesiosaurs spread rapidly through the world's oceans, becoming some of the first true marine predators of their time. This remarkable transition from land to water stands as one of evolution's most fascinating and dramatic stories captured in the fossil record. In time, Plesiosaurs became true masters of the aquatic realm, ruling the ancient seas with their powerful flippers and unique adaptations. The plesiosaur skeleton is one of nature's most curious designs, a marvel of prehistoric engineering. Its most striking feature, the neck. In some species like Elasmosaurus, it contained up to 76 vertebrae, longer than the rest of its body. This extraordinary length allowed it to reach into schools of fish with ease. The neck was relatively stiff, not snake-like, moving gracefully side to side and up and down. This limited flexibility was compensated by its length, giving it a unique hunting advantage. This allowed the plesiosaur to keep its body hidden while its head darted into schools of fish. It could remain concealed in the shadows, striking with precision. It was a perfect tool for ambush, making the plesiosaur a formidable predator in its ancient marine environment. Then there were the flippers, two pairs, unlike any other marine animal. These flippers were not just for steering, but were the main source of propulsion. Plesiosaurs used all four to fly through the water, moving them in a figure-8 pattern for constant propulsion. This unique movement allowed them to maneuver with agility and speed. This swimming style was efficient for cruising in bursts of speed, enabling them to chase down prey or escape from larger predators. The combination of a long neck and four flipper propulsion made them formidable hunters. Their ability to strike quickly and move efficiently through the water was unparalleled. Their rigid, streamlined bodies provided stability and power. This design minimized drag and maximized their hunting efficiency. It was an evolutionary masterpiece, perfectly tuned to its environment. The plesiosaur's body plan was a result of millions of years of adaptation. This body plan allowed plesiosaurs to thrive for millions of years, dominating the ancient seas and leaving a lasting legacy in the fossil record. Plesiosaurs lived in constant motion, always hunting. Their long necks let them glide through the water, bodies hidden in the depths, heads reaching up to snatch prey. They were both ambush and pursuit predators, using their four flippers for efficient swimming and sudden acceleration. Their needle-like teeth trapped slippery fish and cephalopods, which they swallowed whole. Fossilized remains reveal their diet fish bones, belemnite hooks and ammonite shells. Some plesiosaurs swallowed stones, gastroliths, to help grind food or control buoyancy. As air-breathing reptiles, they surfaced regularly for oxygen, rising gracefully from the depths. Their lives were a dance between sunlit surface and dark depths, always searching for the next meal. Survival meant mastering both hunting and navigation. Every day was a balance of energy, risk, and reward. The plesiosaur's world was one of perpetual motion. The Mesozoic seas were dangerous, and plesiosaurs had rivals. Their greatest competitors were pliosaurs, cousins with massive skulls, powerful jaws, and short necks. Giants like Kronosaurus and Leopleurodon were apex predators. A confrontation between a long-necked plesiosaur and a pliosaur would have been terrifying. Plesiosaurs relied on awareness and agility to survive, using speed to escape attacks. Fossil bones with pliosaur bite marks show the brutal reality of their world. Other threats included giant predatory sharks like Cretoxorhina and later mosasaurs, aggressive sea lizards. The oceans were a complex web of predators and prey. But life wasn't all conflict. Plesiosaurs shared the seas with ichthyosaurs, giant sea turtles, and enormous fish. These animals formed a vibrant, competitive ecosystem. The presence of so many large predators shows how productive the Mesozoic oceans were. Plesiosaurs were just one part of this dynamic world. Their survival depended on navigating both friends and foes. A plesiosaur's day began with the sun rising through the water. After resting in deeper waters, it would ascend to the surface for air. This rhythm of surfacing and diving shaped its life. The hunt began, traveling to feeding grounds, scanning for prey, or waiting in ambush. Energy was spent and gained in a constant calculation for survival. Unlike sea turtles, plesiosaurs gave birth to live young at sea. Fossils show mothers investing in a single, large offspring, likely caring for it in its vulnerable months. As evening fell, the plesiosaur continued to hunt, then found a safe place to rest. This daily cycle, breathing, hunting, avoiding danger, caring for young, was the essence of plesiosaur life. It was a life of perpetual motion in a world of light, shadow, and current. For millions of years, this rhythm defined their success. The Mesozoic oceans were vibrant, bustling ecosystems. Warm, shallow seas covered much of the planet, filled with sprawling reefs built by rudists. Ammonites, belemnites, and diverse fish thrived, creating a complex food web. Plesiosaurs swam among ichthyosaurs, mosasaurs, and giant sea turtles. Even the skies above teemed with pterosaurs. This biodiversity meant constant competition and opportunity. Plesiosaurs, with their unique hunting strategy, exploited a niche others couldn't. They were a testament to evolution's creativity in filling every role. Plesiosaurs were a story of incredible success, thriving for 135 million years. Their adaptability was key. Some had long necks for small prey, others short necks and huge jaws for larger animals. This diversity let them survive changing environments and prey. Plesiosaurs lived on every continent from tropics to polar seas. Their efficient swimming allowed global travel and colonization. Local disasters couldn't wipe them out, they were too widespread. Their body plan, stable torso, four-flipper propulsion, was a winning formula. Live birth gave their young a head start in a dangerous world. Adaptability, global reach, and a successful life strategy made them lords of the seas. Their reign was one of evolution's greatest triumphs. For 135 million years, plesiosaurs survived every challenge, until the ultimate catastrophe. 66 million years ago, a massive asteroid struck Earth, triggering global disaster. The sun was blocked, food webs collapsed, and the plesiosaurs vanished, along with the dinosaurs. Their reign ended suddenly, but their story didn't. Fossilized bones discovered centuries later inspired legends of sea serpents and dragons. People tried to explain these strange skeletons with myths. The plesiosaur became a creature of legend, reborn in stories. Today, the Loch Ness Monster echoes their image, a relic of the age of dinosaurs in our imagination. While there's no evidence for living plesiosaurs, the myth endures. Their strange, compelling form continues to inspire awe. They were the true sea dragons of our planet. Their memory lives on, fueling wonder and the timeless human love for stories. The age of the plesiosaurs may be over, but their legacy endures. If you found this information as fascinating and eye-opening as I do, then don't hesitate to smash that subscribe button for even more captivating science content.